Is Donald Trump now panicking as Iran publishes what it claims is a draft peace deal with the United States, throwing fresh confusion over what has really been agreed behind closed doors? After Mojtaba's reported 14-point deal surfaced in Iranian media, did Trump respond with a furious rant against Tehran, signaling just how unsettled Washington is by the leaked terms? Is the world watching yet another clash between Trump and Tehran over whether this is a fake deal or a real breakthrough, with both sides now fighting to control the narrative of peace? Amid ongoing ceasefire talks, the U.S. president has accused Iran of leaking what he calls a fake version of the deal, claiming the published text does not match anything agreed in writing. On June 12, Donald Trump publicly rejected Iranian reports about a draft U.S. Iran agreement, insisting that Tehran's description of the terms was completely misleading. His remarks came just as other reports suggested a memorandum of understanding was close, highlighting a sharp disconnect between quiet negotiations and the rhetoric playing out in public. Trump said, and I quote, "The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to, in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together, and fast." Unquote. Iranian media outlets have reported that the draft deal would formally leave control of the Strait of Hormuz in Tehran's hands, reinforcing Iran's leverage over one of the world's key oil choke points. According to these reports, Iran makes no commitment to restore pre-war conditions in the strait or share management, signaling that it plans to keep its new posture even if a deal is signed. Iran's Mehr News reported the existence of a 14-point draft memorandum of understanding between Iran and the United States that outlines a potential framework for de-escalation. As per the report, the proposed framework could unlock up to $24 billion in frozen Iranian assets held under international restrictions. Half of the funds could become available before final talks even begin, according to details cited in the report. The remaining funds would reportedly be released gradually over a 60-day negotiation period as part of the phased arrangement, Mehr said. Permanent and immediate cessation of hostilities on all fronts, including Lebanon, forming the core demand of the proposed framework. Non-interference in Iran's internal affairs and full respect for its national sovereignty as a binding political condition. Complete lifting of the naval blockade within 30 days, enabling the restoration of unrestricted maritime movement. A commitment from the United States to withdraw its forces from positions deployed around Iran as part of the de-escalation plan. Reopening of the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days under Iranian arrangements to restore critical energy and trade flows. Suspension of sanctions on the sale of oil, petrochemical products, and related derivatives to revive Iran's export economy. Reconstruction plans for Iran valued at a minimum of $300 billion as part of long-term post-crisis recovery support. Complete lifting of primary, secondary U.S. sanctions, along with related UN resolutions under coordinated rollback mechanism. Reaffirmation of Iran's commitment under the NPT not to pursue or develop nuclear weapons capabilities. No deployment of new forces in the region and no imposition of additional sanctions during the negotiation process. Release of $24 billion in blocked Iranian funds, with half of the amount required to be released before formal talks begin. Establishment of a monitoring mechanism to oversee implementation and ensure compliance with the agreement framework. The final agreement would be subject to approval through a United Nations Security Council resolution. Iran's missile program and support for regional resistance groups are excluded from the agenda under the proposed structure. Mehr said the United States would also be required to present a structured plan outlining Iran's economic reconstruction and recovery support. Final negotiations would reportedly focus on nuclear commitments, while excluding any direct discussions on Iran's missile program. The report stated the proposal still requires final approval from relevant authorities before any formal implementation. Official confirmation of the draft has not been provided by either Washington or Tehran at this stage. If confirmed, the proposed framework would mark one of the most significant shifts in U.S.-Iran relations in recent years. Axios reported a proposed 60-day extension of the existing ceasefire framework, including Lebanon, as diplomatic efforts seek to stabilize multiple active front lines across the region. The leaked Mehr draft outlined an immediate and indefinite halt to fighting across the wider region, positioning the move as a baseline condition for broader negotiations and de-escalation talks.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.